In the pursuit of gender equality and inclusive societies, it is disheartening to acknowledge that some men, particularly those in the top echelons of society, seem to overlook or ignore the contributions, perspectives, and potential of women. This video aims to delve deeper into the complex factors that contribute to this phenomenon. By understanding these reasons, we can work towards dismantling barriers and fostering a more equitable society that values the input and presence of women in all spheres. 1. Entrenched gender norms. Traditional gender norms continue to exert a significant influence, shaping the behavior and beliefs of individuals within society. The top 1% of men, often occupying positions of power, may be more inclined to adhere to these entrenched norms, perceiving women primarily as caregivers and homemakers rather than as equals in professional and intellectual domains. These deeply ingrained societal expectations hinder women's progress and contribute to their exclusion in decision-making processes and leadership roles. 2. Male-dominated networks. The top 1% men often operate within exclusive networks dominated by other men. These networks can reinforce existing power dynamics and inadvertently exclude women, limiting opportunities for collaboration, mentorship, and sponsorship. The absence of diverse perspectives within these networks perpetuates a cycle of inequality and impedes the progress of women. 3. Unconscious bias. Unconscious biases, deeply rooted stereotypes or prejudices that individuals may not be aware of, can influence how they perceive and interact with others. The top 1% men, like anyone else, may possess unconscious biases that contribute to the marginalization of women. These biases can manifest in subtle ways, leading to unintentional exclusion or underestimation of women's capabilities. Recognizing and challenging these biases is crucial for fostering a more inclusive mindset. 4. Lack of exposure. In some cases, the top 1% men may have limited exposure to diverse perspectives due to their privileged positions. Their narrow social circles and restricted interactions can lead to a lack of understanding and empathy towards the challenges and aspirations of women. As a result, their needs and voices are often overlooked or dismissed. Expanding their exposure to diverse individuals and experiences can help bridge this empathy gap and promote inclusivity. 5. Fear of disruption. In highly competitive environments, some top 1% men may fear that including women equally could disrupt established power structures. This fear of change and potential loss of advantage can lead to a reluctance to embrace gender equality, perpetuating the exclusion of women in decision-making processes and leadership roles. Recognizing that diversity and inclusivity enhance organizational success rather than hinder it is crucial for breaking down these barriers. 6. Stereotyping and prejudice. Stereotypes and prejudices about women's abilities, interests, and roles persist in society. The top 1% men, influenced by societal narratives, may buy into these stereotypes, assuming that women are less competent or less committed to professional success. This flawed thinking perpetuates gender-based discrimination and reinforces exclusionary practices. Challenging and debunking these stereotypes is vital to creating an inclusive society that recognizes and values the diverse talents and capabilities of both men and women. 7. Emotional intelligence deficit. Some top 1% men, driven by professional ambition, may prioritize logic and rationality over emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence encompasses empathy, self-awareness, and interpersonal skills, which are vital for building inclusive environments. Ignoring or downplaying emotional intelligence can create barriers to effective communication and collaboration with women. Encouraging the development of emotional intelligence among leaders can foster better relationships and promote inclusivity. 8. Power dynamics and control. The top 1% men often wield considerable power and control over various spheres of influence. This concentration of power can create an environment where women's ideas and contributions are overshadowed or undervalued. By perpetuating unequal power dynamics, these men reinforce the exclusion of women from decision-making processes and leadership positions. Actively sharing power, promoting diversity in leadership, and creating inclusive organizational cultures can help address these imbalances. 9. Lack of accountability. In some instances, the top 1% men may enjoy a sense of entitlement and privilege that shields them from accountability for their actions. This lack of accountability can further embolden exclusionary behavior, as there are often no consequences or incentives for change. Holding individuals accountable for their biases and actions is crucial to fostering an inclusive society. Implementing clear policies, promoting transparency, and creating safe spaces for open dialogue can help establish accountability and drive meaningful change. Here are a few fictional examples to illustrate the reasons why top 1% men may ignore women. Entrenched gender norms. John, a successful entrepreneur and member of the top 1%, overlooks qualified women for leadership positions within his company. He subconsciously adheres to the traditional gender norm that views women as less assertive or capable in high-level roles, reinforcing the exclusion of women from executive positions. Male-dominated networks. Adam, a prominent venture capitalist, primarily associates with other male investors in his industry. As a result, he inadvertently excludes women from his network, limiting their access to crucial funding opportunities and mentorship. The lack of diversity within Adam's network perpetuates the gender disparity in entrepreneurship and stifles female-led startups. Unconscious bias. Michael, a renowned academic researcher, unknowingly undervalues the contributions of female colleagues in his field. His unconscious bias leads him to dismiss their ideas or take credit for their work, reinforcing the notion that women's intellectual contributions are less significant. Lack of exposure. David, a wealthy philanthropist, funds numerous charitable initiatives but fails to consider the specific needs and challenges faced by women in marginalized communities. Due to his limited exposure to diverse perspectives, he overlooks the importance of targeted interventions that can address gender-based inequalities and uplift women in these communities. Fear of disruption. Mark, a high-powered executive in a multinational corporation, resists implementing diversity and inclusion initiatives within his company. He fears that a more inclusive workforce may disrupt established power dynamics and reduce his own influence. Mark's reluctance prevents talented women from reaching their full potential and impedes organizational growth. Stereotyping and prejudice. Thomas, a successful politician, perpetuates harmful stereotypes by publicly questioning the leadership abilities of his female opponents. He plays into societal prejudices that assume women are less capable or emotionally unstable in positions of power, undermining the progress of gender equality in politics. Emotional intelligence deficit. Robert, a renowned investment banker, often dismisses female colleagues' concerns or ideas during team meetings, prioritizing logic and financial outcomes over fostering a collaborative environment. His lack of emotional intelligence prevents him from recognizing the value of diverse perspectives and inhibits the growth and success of women in his field. Power dynamics and control. James, a wealthy CEO, consistently appoints men to top executive positions within his company, despite the presence of equally or more qualified women. His concentration of power perpetuates an environment where women's ideas are overshadowed, inhibiting the company's ability to embrace innovation and diverse viewpoints. Lack of accountability. Richard, a highly influential media mogul, faces multiple allegations of sexual harassment and misconduct. However, his status and connections shield him from facing meaningful consequences for his actions. The lack of accountability sends a message that powerful men can disregard women's rights without facing repercussions, perpetuating a culture of impunity. These fictional stories illustrate the complex dynamics that contribute to the exclusion of women by top 1% men, shedding light on the need for introspection, systemic change, and greater gender equality efforts in various domains. Conclusion. Addressing the issue of top 1% men ignoring women requires a multifaceted approach that tackles the underlying social, cultural, and psychological factors at play. By challenging traditional gender norms, promoting diversity in networks, fostering emotional intelligence, and tackling unconscious biases, we can begin to break down the barriers that perpetuate exclusion. Encouraging self-reflection, accountability, and education can also play a significant role in dismantling biases and promoting a more inclusive society. Ultimately, it is by recognizing and addressing these reasons head-on that we can work towards a future where women's contributions are valued and respected by all, creating a more equitable and inclusive society for everyone. Thanks for watching.